Useless Beauty by Guy de Maupassant. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Michael Robinson, Carbondale, Illinois. 1. About 5:30 one afternoon at the end of June, when the sun was shining warm and bright into the large courtyard, a very elegant victoria with two beautiful black horses drew up in front of the mansion. The Comtesse de Mascaret came down the steps just as her husband, who was coming home, appeared in the carriage entrance. He stopped for a few moments to look at his wife and turned rather pale. The Countess was very beautiful, graceful and distinguished looking, with her long oval face, her complexion like yellow ivory, her large gray eyes and her black hair, and she got into her carriage without looking at him, without even seeming to have noticed him, with such a particularly high-bred air that the furious jealousy by which he had been devoured for so long again gnawed at his heart. He went up to her and said, "You are going for a drive?" She merely replied disdainfully, "You see I am." "In the Bois de Boulogne?" "Most probably." "May I come with you?" "The carriage belongs to you." Without being surprised at the tone in which she answered him, he got in and sat down by his wife's side and said, "Bois de Boulogne." The footman jumped up beside the coachman, and the horses as usual pranced and tossed their heads until they were in the street. Husband and wife sat side by side without speaking. He was thinking how to begin a conversation, but she maintained such an obstinately hard look that he did not venture to make the attempt. At last, however, he cunningly, accidentally as it were, touched the Countess' gloved hand with his own, but she drew her arm away with a movement which was so expressive of disgust that he remained thoughtful in spite of his usual authoritative and despotic character, and he said, "Gabrielle, what do you want?" "I think you are looking adorable." She did not reply, but remained lying back in the carriage, looking like an irritated queen. By that time they were driving up the Champs-Élysées toward the Arc de Triomphe. That immense monument at the end of the long avenue raised its colossal arch against the red sky, and the sun seemed to be descending on it, showering fiery dust on it from the sky. The stream of carriages, with dashes of sunlight reflected in the silver trappings of the harness and the glass of the lamps, flowed on in a double current toward the town and toward the Bois, and the Comte de Mascaret continued, "My dear Gabrielle." Unable to control herself any longer, she replied in an exasperated voice, "Oh, do leave me in peace, pray. I am not even allowed to have my carriage to myself now." He pretended not to hear her and continued, "You never have looked so pretty as you do today." Her patience had come to an end, and she replied with irrepressible anger, "You are wrong to notice it, for I swear to you that I will never have anything to do with you in that way again." The Count was decidedly stupefied and upset, and his violent nature gaining the upper hand, he exclaimed, "What do you mean by that?" in a tone that betrayed rather the brutal master than the lover. She replied in a low voice, so that the servants might not hear amid the deafening noise of the wheels, "Ah, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Now I recognize you again. Do you want me to tell everything?" "Yes." "Everything that has weighed on my heart since I have been the victim of your terrible selfishness?" He had grown red with surprise and anger, and he growled between his closed teeth, "Yes, tell me everything." He was a tall, broad-shouldered man, with a big red beard, a handsome man, a nobleman, a man of the world who passed as a perfect husband and an excellent father, and now, For the first time since they had started, she turned toward him and looked him full in the face. "Ah, you will hear some disagreeable things, but you must know that I am prepared for everything, that I fear nothing, and you less than anyone today." He also was looking into her eyes and was already shaking with rage as he said in a low voice, "You are mad." "No, but I will no longer be the victim of the hateful penalty of maternity, which you have inflicted on me for 11 years. I wish to take my place in society as I have the right to do, as all women have the right to do." He suddenly grew pale again and stammered, I do not understand you." "Oh, yes, you understand me well enough. It is now 3 months since I had my last child, and as I am still very beautiful, and as, in spite of all your efforts, you cannot spoil my figure, as you just now perceived when you saw me on the doorstep, you think it is time that I should think of having another child." "But you are talking nonsense." "No, I am not. I am 30, and I have had 7 children, and we have been married 11 years, and you hope that this will go on for 10 years longer, after which you will leave off being jealous." He seized her arm and squeezed it, saying, "I will not allow you to talk to me like that much longer." "And I shall talk to you till the end, until I have finished all I have to say to you, and if you try to prevent me, I shall raise my voice so that the 2 servants who are on the box may hear. I only allowed you to come with me for that object, for I have these witnesses who will oblige you to listen to me and to contain yourself. So now pay attention to what I say. I have always felt an antipathy to you, and I have always let you see it, for I have never lied, monsieur. You married me in spite of myself. You forced my parents, who were in embarrassed circumstances, to give me to you because you were rich, and they obliged me to marry you in spite of my tears. So you bought me. And as soon as I was in your power, as soon as I had become your companion, ready to attach myself to you, to forget your coercive and threatening proceedings, in order that I might only remember that I ought to be a devoted wife, and to love you as much as it might be possible for me to love you, you became jealous, you, as no man has ever before, with the base, ignoble jealousy of a spy, which was as degrading to you as it was to me. I had not been married 8 months when you suspected me of every perfidiousness, and you even told me so. What a disgrace! And as you could not prevent me from being beautiful, and from pleasing people, from being called in drawing rooms and also in the newspapers one of the most beautiful women in Paris, you tried everything you could think of to keep admirers from me, and you hit upon the abominable idea of making me spend my life in a constant state of motherhood, until the time should come when I should disgust every man. Oh, do not deny it. I did not understand it for some time, but then I guessed it. You even boasted about it to your sister, who told me of it, for she is fond of me and was disgusted at your boorish coarseness. Ah, remember how you had behaved in the past, how for 11 years you had compelled me to give up all society and simply be a mother to your children. And then you would grow disgusted with me, and I was sent into the country, the family chateau among fields and meadows, and when I reappeared, fresh, pretty, and unspoiled, still seductive and constantly surrounded by admirers, hoping that at last I should live a little more like a rich young society woman, you were seized with jealousy again, and you began once more to persecute me with that infamous and hateful desire from which you are suffering at this moment by my side. And it is not the desire of possessing me, for I should never have refused myself to you, but it is the wish to make me unsightly,